YouTube! Welcome back once again to the Battle Factory. I'm your factory head, Hylian Trainer Ravio, and in honor of the recently announced event, we are going to be covering Gengar. Now, as you can see, Gengar's got a lot of points in that special attack and that speed, a little bit lacking in the rest of his categories, but we'll certainly find ways that you can see to make up for all that. Anyway, for the first set, I'm going to go with just a standard special sweeper set. So we're going to be dropping 252 points into that special attack and 252 into that speed with a timid nature, getting as much speed as we can. For the item, we're going to be giving this thing a focus sash, making sure it'll survive with 1 hit point, giving it just enough time to maybe pull off a little bit more work before he goes down. Gengar's ability, standard across any Gengar, except a Mega, which we'll cover in a moment, is Levitate, making it immune to one of its bigger weaknesses in the ground typing. Anyway, for this first set, we're going to be giving it Destiny Bond, so that after you get hit with that Focus Sash and go down to 1 hit point, you're going to be able to Destiny Bond and at least make it a tie game. He's got enough speed where he can make that work in his favor, and if you use a Destiny Bond and then your opponent tries to hit you with priority on the next turn, Destiny Bond stays in effect until you attack again. The next move, we're going to give him Sludge Wave when you get the event one, or Sludge Bomb. It's honestly your call. Even when the Sludge Wave Gengar comes out, I'm probably still going to use Sludge Bomb. I like that chance for poison over that chance over the hitting everyone. Although if you got Steel types on your team, Sludge Wave may be the way to go. The next move, we're going to go once again with the stab move in Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is just a good all-around ghost staple. For the last move, it's honestly your call. On this set, I'm using Dazzling Gleam, but there are way more options you can do, as you can see over here. You've got moves like Thunderbolt, you can use Energy Ball, Dark Pulse, Psychic, Focus Blast. You just scroll through Gengar's moveset on Bulbapedia or on PokemonShowdown.com, which is what I'm using here, and just pick out whatever you feel would be best for your team. For the next set, we're going to be going to a little bit of a throwback here with a substitute disabled Gengar. I've decided to put the EVs. We're going to go 252 into his hit points, 156 in his defense, and 100 into his special defense with a calm nature. Feel free to tweak up these EVs however you like. I just prefer to use a 252, 156, 100 on a lot of my more defensive Pokemon because it's a lot easier to handle with the super training or horde training or whatever you may end up doing. For his nature, we're going to be giving him a calm nature, boosting that special defense a little bit more while lowering his attack. For his item, we're going to be giving him Black Sludge, essentially a leftovers for poison types. He's still going to keep that ability Levitate, and then into the main meat of the set. You're going to be giving him that Disable, so that way you can throw him out on a fighting move or a fighting move, a ground move, a normal move, and just shut that down. You're going to be, if you choose to lead with him and use him as your first Pokemon, you can also go Substitute into Disable. You make that Substitute, they break that Substitute, and then you disable them and shut down whatever they were going to hit you with. The reason we're going more special defense in the EVs, it looks like, or the special defense is higher, is because we're going to be balancing that out with Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp burns the target, damaging it for a little bit each turn, but it also cuts the attack in half, making Gengar a lot more probable to survive. Now, because we're not putting as much investment into his special attack, but we still want to get some damage out on him when we need it, I'm suggesting giving him Hex. Power 65, but it doubles if the target has a status on them, which means you could easily Will-O-Wisp your opponent and then Hex them down. Unless it's a normal type, in which case you're going to have to keep using that substitute while they burn themselves down. On to the meat and potatoes of this, the one ghost that Smogon fears, or one of the many ghosts that Smogon fears, Mega Gengar. Once again, we're going to be going into that same EV spread that you're going to be seeing a lot here. 252, 156, and 100. Mega Gengar once again packing that calm nature. You're going to be giving him the Gengar Eye, because without it, there's no way, unless you've got some hacking skills or whatever, there is no way that you can make that Mega Gengar. When Mega Gengar Mega evolves, he gains the ability Shadow Tag, losing his ability to Levitate, which means he's going to take a little bit more damage from ground moves and other things, but hopefully we'll be able to get some protection from that out of our EV spread. And now we're going to go into the big reason why Mega Gengar is so feared, Perish Song. Any Pokemon that hears it faints in 3 turns. which means you pretty much get them, you shadow tag them so they can't switch out, everything dies. And normally what's going to happen is you want to try and switch out on that last turn, making sure that your Gengar can go in and run another Perish Song. After that, you got to make sure you stay alive, so I suggest running a combination of Substitute and Protect, making sure that you can stay alive as long as possible to keep that Shadow Tag alive to bring them down. Unfortunately, you do have certain things that will run in your way. For example, Exploud and Electrode and other Pokemon with Soundproof. For that, I advise running Sludge Bomb, so that way you get the chance to poison them, making sure they can go down easier and quicker, and if you use something like Shadow Ball, Exploud will stomp you out. Now, this last set, I kind of came up with on a whim. I was curious to see if it would work. Maybe some of you can test it out and let me see what happens. But once again, still going with that 252, 156, 100 spread. Still a Calm Nature. It's going to look a lot similar as before with the Black Sludge and the Levitate. But what I'm thinking is a little weird. I'm saying give him Curse, which means you're going to lose half your health if you're a ghost, but they're going to be taking a quarter of their damage in their health every turn. Between that, we could definitely Pain Split when they send out a fresh Pokemon, so we can recover from any of that burning, essentially not. So that way we can recover from hurting ourselves with the Curse, and maybe bringing them down a little bit more so that Curse does more damage to them. And of course, once again, to make that defensive job easier for him, we're going to give him Will-O-Wisp, and because unfortunately you can't switch out of a Curse, I'm advising running Infestation. 20 damage, doesn't look that great, but it traps the opponent for 4 turns, which means they'll be down quicker before the Infestation wears off. Of course, feel free to bring this up any other way. Other great moves Gengar has. He's got Confuse Ray, he gets Hypnosis and Dream Eater. It's honestly up to you, whatever happens. So, thank you for spending time here in the Battle Factory. Until next time, this has been Hylian Trainer Ravio, your factory head, and we'll see you next time on the Battle Factory.